Hey guys, I'm on Instagram right now. I'm gonna do the Q&A. This is like a continuation of the Q&A that I did a couple weeks ago. Okay, so this is with the picture that has the palm trees. That's where I've been getting all your guys' questions from. There's 132 questions. We're just gonna see how many we can get through today. What was your worst addiction to overcome besides Coca-Cola? So I've mentioned before that I really loved drinking soda. Like when I was a teenager and like in my young 20s, I would drink Coca-Cola, and that was sort of like, I don't know, I was like addicted to the carbonation, but it was also sugar too. So I would say aside from Coke, that was the only other addiction. Coca-Cola, I should specify. I wasn't like addicted to cocaine or anything. So don't be thinking like anything like that. Yeah, I was never like into drugs. I mean, I've smoked pot like in the past, but that's like in the past. Okay, so sugar was my addiction for a long time. I ate candy bars and chocolate and all kinds of junk food and cookies. I freaking loved cookies. Oh no, you know what else? Little Debbie. Like, you know those boxes of Little Debbies? It was like Swiss rolls. That's the one. Well, actually I ate all of them, but definitely the Swiss rolls. They also had these oatmeal creams. It's so weird how we get attached to food. Like even just thinking about it now, I have like these pleasure sensors like going off of like the memories of how much I used to enjoy like biting into that stuff. And now I'm just like, I would never touch it now. So I'm totally over that, but I just remember the feeling of how enjoyable that was. And that was back when I was going through a lot of stress too. So it was almost like this way to alleviate stress. Like we had a lot of like family problems and stuff. Like my family is super dysfunctional. Like my mom has mental illness, my dad had an alcohol problem. It was just like, it was chaos, okay? It was like a miserable existence for a kid to grow up in. See how it still upsets me? Give me a Swiss roll. I'm just kidding. All right, the next question is, where and how did you learn the different drink and food recipes you've made? A lot of times it'll just be a matter of seeing what you have in your kitchen, like looking in the fridge and figuring out, you know, how to use what you have already. And I come up with a lot of recipes that way, just like using what I have, figuring out how to put it together to make it work into something that would taste good, you know? And sometimes I'll be in Whole Foods and I'll see something that I want to recreate at home. So sometimes I get ideas from them. So like their juicing recipes, I've recreated some of those, and then like their sushi recipe. They've got like just, you know, different food that they make in their like kind of like deli section. I'll just look and check out the ingredients and figure out how to make it like a vegan version of it at home. And so that's a good way to kind of get ideas too. And also Google, of course, like the Oracle, right? Like anything you want to make and you want to make it vegan style, then you can just go on Google, just type it in, and there's been a lot of things that I found on there. Okay, the next question is, how has YouTube changed your life and the way you live day to day? Oh boy, well YouTube is like, it's opened me up to socializing with people, because before I was so, not antisocial, but I was just like asocial, I guess you would say. Like I was very like, I have a lot of social anxiety, which I've gotten a lot better at over the years, especially from YouTube. So that's like helped solve a lot of my old social anxiety issues. It's made me more comfortable around people. I still have, you know, foot and mouth syndrome. Like I still like right now, like sometimes I'll just say things and I won't like think it through, like it might be offensive to somebody. Like I don't really have a good like censor on me. I just kind of like say whatever, and I don't realize like I unintentionally offend people. And then I realize later on after the fact that, oh, maybe that wasn't, yeah, that did not come off quite the way that it sounded in my head. Okay, what are the pros and cons of being a YouTuber? Well, the pros are definitely getting to socialize with people from all around the world who you share a common interest with. That is like the most awesome part of YouTube to me, is just getting to connect with people who you would have never met before. What are the cons of being a YouTuber? The cons, I would say definitely when you have an idea in your mind, you're trying to make a video and it just turns out wrong. And it just happens like again and again and again. It's like, I can't tell you how many times like I have a certain image in my mind and I'm really excited to shoot this video and I'm trying to produce it as best I can, and it just falls flat. And I'm just like, oh, that didn't exactly turn out the way that I pictured, or it didn't come off the right way, or people took it the wrong way, or people didn't get me or my humor or whatever. And yeah, that's the worst part. And I mean, you're gonna disappoint people no matter what. There's always gonna be someone disappointed in you or your video or something, but you really try hard to produce content that can be enjoyable, and it doesn't always happen that way. So I don't know. How do you deal with that? Just keep on trying. Just keep on making videos. Some of them are gonna be hits and some of them are gonna be misses. It's just how it is. Okay, next question here is, oh, this one I get a lot. This is, do you still have the guinea pigs? No, we don't have our little fur babies anymore, our guinea pigs. I would like to get, you know, a couple of guinea pigs in the future again sometime, or maybe bunnies or something. I love having animals, but that would be way off in the future, like after we move and after we're settled in a house and stuff. But yeah, the guinea pigs, the moose actually passed away back in 2013, so it's been a couple years since we've had our pigs. But she passed away about, I don't know, like a few months before our Southeast Asia trip. So we went on our backpacking trip for 6 months. They were both very elderly pigs because we'd had them for years. But the moose passed away and then we were left with just Mitzi. And so before our trip, we had our friend watch Mitzi just for while we were gonna be traveling. And so Mitzi was staying with our friend and her family. She had a couple of kids and they loved him. They fell in love with Mitzi. And while we were on our trip, they decided to get a guinea pig too. So they got Pebbles, a little white guinea pig, and Mitzi and Pebbles, you know, were hanging out together the whole time while we were gone, and they really bonded. And so then when we came back from our trip and we're like went over there, you know, and we're hanging out and we're gonna pick up Mitzi, and we were like seeing like how close the pigs were, and they're very social animals. And so we were like, okay, I don't think that this is going to be a good idea to separate them. Her old mate, you know, the moose, passed away, and now she has a new friend, and none of us like wanted to separate them. Like, we just felt like it wasn't a good idea. And so we just let them adopt them. And so she was at our friend's house, and Mitzi actually finally passed away last year. And so that was it. And then I think they got another guinea pig for Pebbles. So it's like this constant, thing. Once you get one pig, it has to have a friend, and then, you know, someone's bound to pass away first, so then you gotta have another pig, and it's just ongoing, right? So anyway, that is the whole story with our guinea pigs. I really miss having them, and I hope to have some in the future again sometime. When you and Michael move, do you anticipate still doing your jewelry line, or will you both be working other jobs? All of the above. I'm definitely gonna be still, you know, in the jewelry industry. That's like my main thing. But we also both have our own other like jobs or entrepreneurial, you know, endeavors that we're planning on working on. I would love some info about what it takes to own your own business. I would love to have my own company in the next few years, but I'm completely overwhelmed / thrilled by the idea. So let's see, some info about what it takes to own your own business. Be ready to be married to it, because when you work for yourself, you work 24/7. Like, it is on you. You wake up every day at 0. You don't have a paycheck coming. You have to bust your butt on your own. You've got to have the self-discipline to wake up every morning ready to work, you know, and make goals. Like, actually, like, write down your goals. Be specific about what you're trying to accomplish. Know your customer base and what you're trying to create. And just networking. Yeah, just like getting your name out there, connecting with other people, other business owners. One way that I found that really like boosted my business super quickly was going to the farmers markets, you know. And you think, oh, just a little tiny farmers market, that's like nothing, like what's that going to do for me? But it actually like opened up, like I met so many people that way, so many like you know, everyone from billionaires to, I mean, like fellow vendors next to me. It's like you meet so many different people if you just put yourself out there and start networking with people, just talking, and people get to know your business, and they're like, oh yeah, hey, I like what you do. And then word spreads to other people, and then more customers find you, and pretty soon you've got like so much work you can't even handle it, you know? Once you get that ball rolling, just keep on going with it and you will do just fine. Next question, what was the hardest and easiest part of going vegan? The easiest part of going vegan is the food part. Like, I find it really easy to eat vegan. Like, it is easy. There's such variety, and my diet has never been so diverse. You know, like I eat tons and tons of stuff that I never even like ate before, or even like knew existed or knew how to cook before. So yeah, just like the easiest part is definitely eating for me. The hardest part was the changing over from leather to like synthetic, because I had like leather handbags, leather shoes, but something that's funny about that is actually some of my leather shoes, I thought they were leather, and it turns out they were vegan leather, so they were just synthetic all along. and I totally thought they were leather. So anyway, that was kind of a wake up. I was like, oh my god, some of my favorite shoes that I thought were leather all this time actually turned out to be vegan, which was awesome. How is it living in Hawaii, and what is your story on how you got there? Well, I've told this one before. I moved out here in my senior year of high school. I was like, I needed a change. My family, I've mentioned, you know, they're super dysfunctional. I mean, they're a lot better now. Things are like really mellow with them. And I'm like friends, you know, like I'm really close with my dad, and I'm not as close with my mom because, you know, she has mental illness, and that's like, it's really difficult. She has schizoaffective disorder, so it's really difficult to be close with someone who doesn't feel like they're close to you anymore. So that's like, it's like a little bit awkward and messed up. So yeah, I moved out here in my senior year of high school because my home was just a mess, and I wasn't even gonna have a place anyway to live because we'd gotten evicted from our house. My mom tried to set the bathtub on fire. That's a whole other story. Oh my god, the stories I could tell you guys. Storytime videos, oh. Yeah, I've never done a storytime video specifically because I feel like my storytime videos would be too depressing for people. Yeah, moved out, flew out here. I had a round trip ticket and I just didn't take the return flight home. I just decided to stay here. And I decided that a couple weeks before I flew out here, I was just like, yeah, okay, this is it. I'm not coming back. There's nothing to come back to. And so that's why I ended up just staying on Maui. Yeah, moving out here was one of the best decisions of my entire life, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I mean, imagine you're a teenager, you move out on your own, and you're suddenly in Hawaii. Like, that was like paradise, right? I was having the time of my life. Something I should add to that though is I had to get a job like immediately. So that's something, like if you're moving out on your own, I mean, make sure you like line that work up fast. It wasn't like I came out here and I thought I was on vacation or anything. No, like the moment I landed here was all about finding work, you know, finding a place to live and getting serious about, you know, being able to make it on my own. As a vegan, how do you make sure you get all the vitamins, nutrients, and proteins that you need? Well, it is very, very easy, because if you think about it, all the animals have to get all of their proteins and vitamins and minerals from somewhere, right? They only eat plants, and it's very easy to get all of your nutrients, everything that you need, except for B12, because B12 is actually bacteria found in soils, and you have to supplement that. And so whether you're vegan or non-vegan, you still should be supplementing B12, because there's many people that are B12 deficient. So it doesn't have anything to do with being vegan or not. And yeah, actually that goes for anything, like any vitamins and nutrients. Like anyone can be deficient in that. It has nothing to do with being vegan or not. So it's not something that I ever think about. The only thing that I supplement with is B12, and I just take a sublingual spray under the tongue. You know, I take it, I mean, I aim for every day, but you know, sometimes it's like a few times a week or something, but yeah, super easy. The best way to get all your vitamins and nutrients is to just make sure you're eating enough, and enough of the right kind of foods. So just all of the fruits and vegetables, like there's a whole rainbow of fruits and vegetables to be eating, and all the grains and beans, and I mean, there's so much food out there. Like you're gonna get plenty of vitamins and nutrients, so that's nothing to even worry about. Sad to know you're leaving Hawaii. You're my only source of Hawaii beauty. Oh, well, oh, you know what I will tell you right now is Legit Nutrition Hawaii. I think that's her channel name, but Lily, she lives on the Big Island. So in fact, I'm gonna post her channel link below. So yeah, Lily is awesome. I love watching her videos. She's super smart. She's really informative. She makes excellent videos about like fitness and nutrition. She's vegan also, and she always shows like her yard and like what I eat in the day videos, and she's super healthy, and I think she's a massage therapist, and yeah, she's just a really cool chick. So I mean, I'm sad that like I don't have a friend like her like over here on Maui like to hang out with. So I'll make sure I post Lily's channel below, because she's super cool. You guys will love her. What's a good key to a good marriage? That's a really good question. Michael and I have been married for 12 years. And well, it'll be 12 years in July, so a couple months away. But I would definitely say a good sense of humor. Yeah, that goes a long way. Just keeping each other, like making each other laugh, having a good time, being best friends. Like I knew before I got married that I was just holding out until I found my best friend, and then being able to work well together through hard times too. So there's gonna be hard times, and marriage is not like an easy thing, you know. I mean, we have a pretty good marriage. Like we're pretty like cruise, we're both pretty mellow, but we do still fight once in a while. It's just normal, that's how it is. I mean, you're gonna have like little arguments, or you're not gonna always agree agree on everything, right? And so you just gotta know how to like work with each other and, you know, compromise. Compromising is a big one. And know how to diffuse situations, because sometimes someone can get really upset and that's not in your control. But if you know how to better deal with that, and you know how to better deal with them and how to kind of diffuse the situation, you can make it smooth out like so much faster than if you also were to get upset, you know? Just know how to diffuse the situation, know how to talk to them where it's not going to make the situation worse or more intense. And if you're trying to have a discussion and you can see that the other person might get upset, you know, take some time to just, you know, let them chill out and make things like calm again before you try to push it any further, right? So that's a really good question, and there's so many tips that I could give. Like I could do a whole video on tips for marriage, marriage tips. We'll do one of these like once a week until I catch up with all the questions. Alright guys, so I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.